Hey guys, we're here at the University of Wyoming campus at the Geological Museum, and we're here with Mrs. Hickerson again, special guest. We're here for meetings, so we thought we'd throw in some field trips. We did the greenhouse yesterday, and we're doing the Geology Museum today. There's some cool stuff outside. This is an old building. Looks like it was, what, 1955? And they've got some cool dinosaur motifs or something on the outside. A couple of bones. I don't know if those are actually real fossils stacked up there against the... Looks like they might be. These iron bands are holding them against the building. Should we do the dinosaur? I guess it's tradition to try and throw a pine cone in the mouth of the...
Dr. Haywood's going to try this.
I might get in trouble.
It's tradition, it's culture. See if he makes it. Yep. Oh, so close. Good effort.
All right, let's go inside. All right, guys, so we're in the museum. What was this, Miss Hickerson?
This is the
Apatosaurus. See how big this is? Pretty big ribs. Yeah. Fit several people in the belly. And you can see this tail. It goes all the way back. Sticks out here. And they said pieces of this are the actual fossils they found, and then others are just filling in. So like, yeah, you can see how some of it has kind of that aged old look to it, and then others have that smooth newer look to it. And so let me go find the little placard for this. And press pause and read this. And then press pause and read this. Okay. Some other cool Triceratops and maybe a T-Rex. What else? What do you want to tell them?
Well, there's the Allosaurus, big owl down here.
Take us to see the Allosaurus. Big owl?
Big owl. Down in Wyoming. A lot of good information about
Is this on the wall or this thing?
this guy here is big owl.
Allosaurus. You can press pause and read that. And then you can press pause and read that. I don't know if that pause thing works or not. Smaller than the Apatosaurus.
They ask you to find where he was injured. And we
Oh,
had
yeah?
read through this.
Did you
So
find it?
you can find where his injuries are if you look at the skeleton.
So is that an injury or is that just a marker? There's an injury up there. So it might have been bit into the rib.
It looks like they marked here, maybe on the hip as well.
I don't see anything on this side. Should we go around the other? Trying to go slow enough. Gotta remember to go slow so I don't make everything blurry.
Looking for impacts.
I don't see any markers on this side either. Look at this small one. It's crazy, these things used to walk all over the earth. What's the wall? Stegosaurus. You can press pause and read that. Hopefully. There's
It's
glare.
about 60 miles north of Laramie. It's called
60 miles north of here. So this is kind of like they find in Fossil Butte, where they're finding all the fish and the turtles and things they showed you on that field trip. This is a full dinosaur with the plates along the back. Remember that type of dinosaur that had the fins that run across the back all the way down the tail, and they have that spiked tail out there. Pretty cool. What else do they have?
Let's go see some glow-in-the-dark rocks.
Glow in the dark rocks?
We'll see if we'll capture them on film.
Okay, glow in the dark rocks. Oh, that's cool. Check that out.
Who knew rocks could glow in the dark?
They look like those fish. Like Nemo.
I know.
That's pretty cool. Franklin, New Jersey is known as the fluorescent mineral capital of the world. I don't know if you can read that or not. They have all these cool rocks. Check this one out. See if I can zoom. Oh. Click
Ready?
that again.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen these before.
I think they're pretty cool. That's ones I've ever seen too. They even have fluorescent fossils. Looks like some of the teeth fluoresce. That's interesting.
Can we read this? Keeps clicking.
We hit it again?
Yeah, they should just leave it on the whole
I
time.
know. I think it has to absorb some of it. Maybe, I'm not sure.
There's some cool ones in here. Anyway, kind of cool. Fluorescent fossils. So those aren't glowing so much. Just looks dark probably to you. There's a blue one that's glowing. That's pretty cool. Oh. Anyway, so they look normal in the light, but then they glow in the dark. It's pretty cool. Some other fossils, or not fossils, rocks in here, minerals.
Lots of minerals. Cool things. If you like rocks and minerals.
That's pretty cool. So they got a pretty good display. Here's a ring one. Look at that. That's pretty cool. This looks like the back of a dinosaur. Plated.
You're in Mr. Siegel's Earth Science class. You'll be learning about these.
Mr. Siegel?
Yep.
Okay.
Talks about how to test for different rocks and minerals.
Alright. Let's see what else they got. Okay. We're gonna learn about the pronghorn.
I don't know if they talk about their predator though.
You can press pause and read that. You can press pause and read that. And you can press pause and read that.
Closest living ancestor to the elk is a giraffe.
Really?
Yeah.
You can press pause and read that. So is this a pronghorn?
I guess so early ancestor.
No, this is an early camel.
Oh, there your camels in there.
Look at that. Platte County, Wyoming. Early type of camel. That's interesting. What do we have here? Another camel. So this is how they find them embedded in the rock, and then they dig them out, and we'll try and rebuild them as best they can. This is a rhinoceros found in Sioux County, Nebraska, so just next to us. Interesting.
There's a Rollins mammoth over here.
A Rollins mammoth? Let's go see the Rollins mammoth. Here's a rock with a bunch of money in it. It's kind of funny. Looks like a donation box.
This is Nip the Rollins Mammoth.
Nip the Rollins Mammoth. Check that out, guys. Tell us something about him.
Well, it says here that he was discovered south of Rollins in early 1960s when heavy equipment exposed the mammoth at the surface. It must have been by the Union Pacific, because he's also called the Union Pacific Mammoth.
South of Rollins?
South of Rollins.
That's
Nip
pretty cool.
is a Colombian mammoth.
Colombian mammoth. So these were those big elephant-looking things, and they had the woolly mammoth, so they had a lot of fur. They had these crazy big tusks, but they used to be hunted by the first humans, or the earliest humans that we have evidence of in the North American continent. And it wasn't too long ago that they actually roamed here. So I actually was listening to, you can see the teeth down there that they grind their food with, I'm assuming. I was listening to a recent podcast, and a guy found a mammoth as the ice receded up in the Alaska area sometime in the last 100 years. And he actually took some of the meat and cooked it and ate it, and he said it tasted fine. Kind of weird. I'll try and let you pause on this. So press pause and read that. Press pause and read that. And that's Nip, the mammoth. So you can see. I guess you can press pause and read that about all the places he's traveled to as a display. Okay, so upstairs they have these Wyoming oceans pictures where you can see how the landscape around North America, or the American continent even, has changed, and around the world. So 550 million years ago, the Precambrian period, based on fossil records and geology. So here is Wyoming, and they just show you what the oceans might have looked like around it. And then in the Cambrian period, 510 million years ago, it looks like the water had come in and covered much of Wyoming, and that's why we find so many fossils that are ocean animals and plants that were both maybe part of the ocean and then after the ocean receded. The Ordovician period, if I said that right, much of North America was underwater, and so you find all kinds of fossils. I don't know if you remember when I took you up to Haystack Peak. On the top there's fossils that were water, and yet that's at about 10 that were water, I think crustaceans of some type, but they're sitting up there at 10,000 feet at the top of a mountain range. Kind of interesting. Here in the Silurian period, Wyoming is back out of the water.
Pretty close to beachfront property.
That's right. I would have been on the western edge. I would have had oceanfront property.
And the Devonian as well.
Devonian? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
So the Devonian, it looks like I would have either been, I'm on the western edge, I would have been in the water or just right along the edge of it. So. Mississippian period.
A lot of beachfront property.
Back underwater. You see half the state. So it's kind of interesting. That's how we have all these different findings in the geologic and fossil record. Just the change over time. All right. Anything else?
Jurassic is where a lot of people, you think about the Jurassic period a lot.
Yeah.
You think about T-Rex and all those. This is what Wyoming looked like when T-Rex walked here.
It's Wyoming. 3/4 maybe, or 2/3 at least, underwater. Pretty cool.
I have one last thing I'm going to show.
What else? Okay.
So, growing up in Gillette, there's a lot of sedimentary rock that transferred to metamorphic rock. We call that slate. And so when it was shale, plants and fish and stuff would die and become fossils. Now in Gillette, as a kid, I would find these, and they're often very close to the surface. You can see why there's just a plant fossil in there. But what I would do is I'd actually toss these. This is not scientific, but I would toss them against concrete, and they would often, because they have layers, because they're from sedimentary rock that has become pressurized over time, they'll crack open where the fossil is located. So if you're in Campbell County and in a place where you find a lot of rocks like these, they're often hidden inside rocks. So you can find them, you know, hit them, maybe use an instrument instead of just throwing them against the ground, but they'll often open up to fossils. And that was a fun thing I used to do as a kid. And maybe you can find some where you live.
Can you do that on public land, or does it have to be private?
I would recommend public land for sure. I did it.
No, I mean your own private land.
Oh,
Are
on
you
your
allowed to
private
do
land,
it on
yes.
public?
Well, I would think so.
Probably want to check
Check
on
on
that.
that one. I did it as a kid, actually on my school district property. So.
Because I know there's some laws, like when we did Warfield Fossils last year, he told us that if you're on BLM or public land, if you find a fossil, you actually have to leave it laying
that's
there.
good to know.
So I don't know if you can throw the rocks
So if
and
it's,
break
I
them.
would probably private land and then check with the owner, the landowner, if it's not yours.
Yeah.
But
Cool. That's interesting.
yeah, fun fact.
Any more leaves in there?
This one's a really good leaf.
Yeah, there you go. See that?
Lots of tropical leaves.
Awesome.
It was warm here.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it, I think.
Okay.
That's all I got.
They have a whole bunch of booths. If you come on your own, you can read all the things and see a bunch more fossils and so forth. So, pretty cool place. Do you want to say goodbye to these students? So thanks for coming on this field trip.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miss Hickerson, for taking us here. She used to come here when she was a student at UW, right?
And it's free, so if you're ever in Laramie, you can always stop in. It's just a great place to come in and see some great science.
Okay. Thanks, guys. See ya.